to be living in a dream or something separate from reality.
Anomalies become common.
But do we dare wake from this dream?
It may just be a welcome break from the true and harsh reality.
I hope that isn't true, that this is as good as it gets. We will find out soon enough, I suppose.
Is anything real?
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. I am Mr. Mike and you are listening to the GamezAttack podcast here at OldFreakyGamer.com. This is episode 90. As I call this episode, Digital Only GTA? How's it going, gamers and gamettes out there? Another week, another star of a week and another star of a podcast. And no, this is not my, new star music. I'm just trying out some other open source free music that's out there. Some Euro trash and some techno and cyberpunk music. I think it sounds pretty good, right? Yeah, let's drop this music for a second. There we go. How's it going, folks? Oh boy, what a week it was last week, at least for yours truly, because if you didn't watch my live stream on Friday, I was still tired. I still kind of am. Like, I can just feel the tiredness because it's been a harsh week. And I'm not talking politically because I don't give a shit about that. Nope. On my podcasts and my gaming streams and my gaming videos, I don't want to even care about talking about politics. People can have their ideas. We don't have to go out there and cause trouble. The law is the law. People are the people. Just think, we're in America. There's other countries out there that do way different things. I will stay out of it because it is not my place. It is not my concern. And people should just obey the law. And maybe there's other things out there that need more attention and fixing and people backing and complaining about instead of, the things when crazy people go up against the law about. That's my stake on it, and I'm not speaking any more about it. Everybody can reserve the right to what they think, but, like I said, the law is the law. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on who you are. I am here to talk about the law of video games and the law of gaming industry and how the gaming industry's been doing. And I'm also talking about all the damn snow we had over that week, and my shoulder still got a little to it, Hard to play video games when your shoulder and your arm and everything's out of whack, Not very good. That snow was horrible. Lots of snow every day. Tons of snow. Me, Mr. Mike, shoveling, snow blowing, tons of snow, ice, cold. I was getting really, really frozen everywhere, even with my little beard and goatee and stuff like that and head of hair. Still freezing. I cannot wait till spring and summer. What can I say? I like the warmer climate, even though I live up northeast, I should say, because that's where we are in Buffalo, New York here, on the northern eastern part. But yeah. I'm here in a nice warm house. It's about, 72 degrees in this office right now. It's been pretty warm, but I've been running the PC all day. I've been doing a lot of video editing and producing and putting up more items on my eBay account because I'm on eBay. Something I don't really need to talk about too much because it's nothing really for... I can, if people really want me to. I'll mention a little bit of it, but I do some eBaying now. My eBay page, if you want to look it up, my seller page is OFC, or OFG, sorry, OFG-stuff. So OFG-stuff. So Old Freaky Gamer dash stuff. Why not? It used to be something else a long time ago when I used to be a big eBayer seller and stuff back in the day, back when I did eBay and Amazon selling all the time. Now I'm just doing some, cleanup of my old stuff. Not old stuff. There's a lot of new stuff. I got some like wrapped games still that I just never will play because I got them digital or I got multiple copies of certain games and stuff. I got a whole bunch of my old DVD film collection that I'm putting up slowly for sale. And I got Blu-rays up there as well because sometimes you get new Blu-ray movies and they come in sets and packages and stuff. And it's like, oh, I already got this Blu-ray movie of this movie, so I got a newer copy of it over here. So I usually swap them out and I'll sell all this stuff. I got box sets too that I got to put up. Those are going to be a little bit more at the end. But yeah, I still got a lot of DVDs and I think some Blu-rays left. I don't know if I got all the Blu-rays or not. Still got a lot of DVDs though that I got to go through, take pictures of, and then post them on eBay for sale and stuff. And I'm not gonna say I got the cheapest prices, folks. I got gaming hardware on there for PC hardware and stuff. I just sold my ROG Ally Extreme, my original ROG Ally, I should say, not the new one I have, my Xbox ROG Ally X. I love that thing. I won't ever sell that until like a new Xbox ROG Ally comes out, and it would have to be pretty powerful. It'd have to be leaps and bounds more powerful than what I got now for me to sell this one. But I sold my 3-year-old ROG Ally Extreme because I'm like, I don't need 2 ROG Allies. And the first one was still perfectly fine. It's just, older, a little bit older hardware and stuff, but still runs Windows 11, had 2 terabyte drive in it and stuff. It was a really good device. I just have a way more expensive, way more better device. And I'm like, well, I don't need this other one. I'm hoping this one don't break or anything because I'll be like, oh, I sold my older one. I should have kept that as a backup. But nah, I don't want to keep multiple devices, especially for portable gaming hardware. You got to know when you're going to give up some stuff. And I got a lot of other stuff I might start selling. But like I said, I admit here, I'm not the cheapest seller on eBay. So don't think I'm going to be the cheapest person to sell things, movies and stuff. I got a thing that I'm doing, mostly doing $10 DVDs, $12 Blu-rays and stuff like that for, regular Blu-rays and DVDs, not box sets and stuff and like that, but regular DVDs and $10. And then, like I said, Blu-rays are going to be $12, $2 shipping for those. Other various items will be different, various prices and, what should I say, shipping costs and stuff like that. But yeah, otherwise, I think they're all fair prices. I was looking up not only on eBay, but Amazon and other places, comparing prices on stuff. And I'm like, yeah, for what I have. And these are all these movies are coming out, games and stuff are coming out of my collection. So they're all in pretty new, great quality. I put them on like good, very good quality on there. I limited the expectations for people, but that when they get them, they'll be like, oh, this looks like brand new. Because, I owned the media and stuff. I owned everything. So everything, of course, is going to be in great condition because I owned it and I take care of shit. And they usually, all these movies just sit in totes for years and years and years. But now that I'm more into collecting the Blu-rays and stuff like that, unless if it's like a series that never went to Blu-ray or something, then I'll get DVDs of it. But anyways, going forward, it's always Blu-ray, Blu-ray, Blu-ray. So, because those are the ones that do 1080p and stuff. If DVDs did 1080p, I wouldn't be getting Blu-rays, but they don't do 1080p. They do like, 720p maybe? Up to, if that. I think they do 480 something, 720. I forgot what DVDs go up to. They don't go up that high a resolution, I don't think, but hey, still better than VHS out there. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to add some more stuff slowly but surely. Just clean out some back stock of stuff. And like I said, a bunch of older movies that I want to get rid of because I got a whole bunch of them. Most of them I got doubles or new versions of and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, maybe people will want to buy them and have a happy time. And then I could put that money towards other stuff like to my house, to the website here, to other stuff, to newer games and stuff, stuff like that. That's where that money goes. It's extra fun fun stuff money and all that. So yeah, OFG-stuff on eBay if you want to take a look at my collection of stuff that maybe you might want to buy or maybe not. I don't know. I'm not going to force anybody. I also have my Mr. Mike's tip jar on OldFreakyGamer.com. If anybody's interested, you can go and click it through there and donate me a little bit of money if you got some. You know, this tax time is coming up right now. I already filed my tax returns. Those have been done already. I'm very quick on that stuff. Got that all done. Didn't get that much more money back from the government. Not when they said, oh, you lower income people are going to get more money. I'm like, I'm lower income, I think, and I didn't get that much more money back, and I still had to pay the state. So thank you, New York State, for still fucking us over, being expensive in taxes and stuff. I still had to pay the state. Yes, they wanted my whole $7. $7 to New York State. Go figure. And I don't know if they took it out yet, but you know they will. They'll be like, yeah, $7 from Mr. Mike. Yeah, take it out of his checking account. So that's been going on. So been doing a lot of stuff, like I said. After this podcast, maybe I'll do some gaming videos or something, or maybe I'll wait till tomorrow to do the gaming videos. I'm recording this on Saturday of the weekend before the podcast goes out, so nice day. It's been a pretty good day, but like I said, I've been getting a lot of stuff done, except for working out yet. I'll probably try to do that on Sunday, so tomorrow. I got to get back into the gym, but I'm still kind of shoulder painish. But maybe I have to go lighter or do something else, maybe. But I don't know. I do like lifting the weights, you know. I do lift the gaming handheld weights here. But yeah, so gaming-wise, things been going on. People have been talking a lot of stuff about video games. And we're going to talk about some stuff here. I got a lot of stuff on the list here, so I might as well bring up my list now. Let's see here. I want to get started talking about like a few things. We got stuff like from Yakuza talk, because the Yakuza Kiwami 3 Dark Ties, what did they call it? The remake / remaster of Yakuza Kiwami 3 / Dark Ties is a new version. Well, Dark Ties is a separate game to Yakuza Kiwami 3, but it has its own story and all that, and it's in Komorocho and stuff like that. Same thing with Yakuza Kiwami 3. You end up in Komorocho anyways, but two very different stories, two different characters. One is, you know, Kiryu. The other one is whatever that guy is from Kiwami 3. But it looks good. I played it. It looks good. The whole remake remaster of Yakuza Kiwami 3 Dark Ties, it seems overpriced. Really overpriced. They want, what is it, 60? They wanted $59.99 for it. Am I wrong on that? Okay, so I was just quickly looking it up as I did my little trick there. So yes, it's $59.99, so $60 to purchase or pre-order Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. If you want the deluxe edition, which they're offering here, at least on Steam, they want $75 for the deluxe edition on that. And if you get the deluxe edition, you know, you get a legendary character outfit pack, legendary lads and gals pack, Ryokayo Gal Gang customization pack, flip phone customization set, legendary BGM CD pack, and for the standard game, you just get Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. That is very expensive for a remake remaster for this. And I'm going to tell you right now, do not buy this right away. I am telling you right away, if you didn't watch my Let's Play video from Wednesday, go watch it. It's long, but it's only long because I've been complaining a lot in it and showing off some stuff. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad games. They're going to be good. Not like I said, Yakuza 3, the game Yakuza 3, I played it so many times. I just really not looking forward to playing it again right away. Even though it does look a lot better, it looks a lot better, and it does have voice acting and stuff in Yakuza Kiwami 3. And for the Dark Ties part, that's what I really am interested in. And I'm watching this. They got a little video going on here. They actually got fight clubs and stuff in this, it looks like. Oh, for Bad Boy Dragon Racing and stuff like that. Is that what this is? I'm just looking at some of the stuff that I don't ever do. Oh, no, this is fighting. Oh, so, okay, so they're bringing in the fighting games in this, and racing and fighting in this. I never was into that. I was never into Yakuza 3 as much as like the other ones. Maybe the other one with where you play Hiroko through most of the game. That one also I was not really big on. I don't know if that's the next one or the following one, but it was okay, but it was just not my thing too much, playing as Hiroko. But the problem with this is being not only $60, it's $60 for a remake, remaster, and then they add Dark Ties to that as a separate like game that's connected to the game. And if you just don't want to continue to play Yakuza Kiwami 3 again, and you just want to play the Dark Ties game, they should have just sold those separately. If they wanted to still get their $60 and not piss off people, they could have just sold these games separately. They could have sold Yakuza Kiwami 3 for $30. They could have sold Dark Ties for $30 separately. And then maybe if they wanted to do something really special for people that paid and bought Yakuza Kiwami 3 many times over and played it many times over, maybe if they, which they do have them together, they could have just sold it for like $45, $50-ish at the most. They want $60. They're asking for almost full price. I'm surprised they didn't get really gutsy and tried to charge $70 for this stuff. And that is really ridiculous to me. I am not happy about that. And a lot of other people weren't happy about it. They weren't happy about it so much so that when I did that video, when I did that Let's Play game video of the demo for Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, they had a lot of negative. It was mostly negative user reviews for the game on the game page of Steam for Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Now, as you look at the page, and this was like a couple days after, this is when I was posting up the video and stuff. I looked at the Steam page again, and I looked, and it said no user reviews, and it still says that right now. There is no user reviews. Like, they're not letting people post user reviews. Sega or RGG Studios or both of them, it must have been them, must have wiped the user reviews for the game on Steam, which, as you know, that is bullshit. And you know that's a cover-up from RGG Studios and stuff, and Sega not letting the fans let people know and let people know that this game is not going to be worth your $60. But here's the thing. You got people like me that played the demo that have a platform that talk about this in a video and on a podcast saying that is a big Yakuza fan. Now note, I love all the Like a Dragon games and all the Yakuza games. I played them all. I beat them all. I like the series. I like Ichiban. I like Kiryu. I like most of the characters. And I am telling you, for this remake, excuse me, I got something in my eye, of course. I'm telling you, stay away. Stay away. Let this game go down in price. And then maybe it's going to be something that we might want to buy. Also, it's not available on Xbox PC. For PC, Xbox for PC either. So that's another strike against it. That was the first strike against it when I said to myself, oh, Mr. Mike, I don't know. It's not going to be for Xbox for PC like all the other Yakuza and Like a Dragon games were put on for that. I don't know about this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I could get this on the Xbox and just stream it to my system, but I would really rather play this natively on the PC, but I don't want to buy the Steam version because I want the achievements. And then I go and look and I see that it is $60 and I play the demo and I do a demo let's play of it. And I'm like, okay, this is fun and all. The characters look really good. The video sequences look good and all that, but it's still running on, like most have said, and also in the user reviews before they yanked them down, because I've read those user reviews, most have said this is all in the same Yakuza 6 engine, because they used the Yakuza 6 engine for all the Like a Dragon games so far. They used it in, like most of the Yakuza games and the remasters and stuff like that. And nothing has really changed by that. And a lot of people said, well, even with the graphics up, Paul, and this and that, it's still not worth it. Like I said, if they would have charged like $40, $45, $50 for this, I would have said, okay, still expensive, but I would have bought it. I would have still said, hey, I'm buying this, because you're getting 2 games in one, technically. I don't know how long Dark Ties is going to be, but you're getting basically 2 games in one, even though they're using the older engines and they're using, of course, their same asset things and stuff like that. But they're basically trying to milk everything they can out of these original games and series and stuff. But I think it's going to backfire on them this time. I think people that are fans of the Yakuza series and stuff are going to get way too wise. And a lot of these people are going to go, no, motherfuckers. We're not going to buy this game. We're not going to fall for your tricks, RGG Studios and Sega, mostly RGG Studios. And we're not going to be buying this remaster of Yakuza 3 Kiwami and Dark Ties, because you guys have not shown us that this needs a remaster, and you're not providing enough of a graphical overhaul and enough changes, and you're slapping down a $60 price tag on top of it. If, like I said, if they would have did like a $45 to $50 price tag, and if they would have let you decide if you wanted to buy either game instead of just slapping them together and just also have them separate and charge like $30, $35 for each game, they would have had more sales for this stuff. But they didn't do that. They just said, here's the game. It's $59.99, $60, take it or leave it. And I'm going to tell you, and it's hard for me to say this because I really would have bought these games, because I still want to play Dark Ties. Eventually I will. I'll wait till, maybe eventually it'll go on Xbox for PC. Maybe eventually they'll be like, oh shit, we're not selling this as much, so we got to slap this on Xbox for PC side on the Xbox PC store. So we might as well do that, and then they'll have it cheaper or whatever, and then I'll buy it. Ultimately, that's when I'll buy the game or whatnot. But as of right now, I am not interested in buying that this game. Not for what a lot of the other gamers' reasons are. A lot of the other gamers out there also had other major reasons not to buy Yakuza Kiwami 3 / Dark Ties, due to the fact they're boycotting this game and a backlash because of the one actor that was accused of, I guess, sexual harassment. Now, I heard this a long time ago. This I remember from a long time ago. This was going on with this, I guess, actor and stuff, and his character, and him doing certain things, because they were showing on another gaming website what the actor was doing to ladies and stuff, and behind the scenes, like they're actually showing like a Twitter Reddit thing here of the actor like holding this lady's hair. She's strapped to a chair and whatnot, and he's doing, I don't know, I guess sexual harassment stuff. But I guess this guy was a sexual harasser, and I guess he's in this game as a character and stuff, and people didn't like it, and people are out there are boycotting the game because of this actor who was admitted to sexual misconduct in the past or whatnot. I don't know. let's see here. I'm just looking at this. So I guess, let's see here. Shigeru Nakahara and Rekiri Shira and Go Hazo have, will have completely new actors in the ring. I forgot. I'm just looking here. So maybe, no, wait, is it, because they're mentioning a lot of actors and people here, but let's see here. With performer Teruyuki Kagawa. Is that what this guy is? That's the guy maybe they're talking about. Brought on to voice Hamazaki. The actor is well known in Japan with a career that spanned over 2 decades in both film and television. However, in 2019, it is him. Kagawa was accused of sexual harassment, an action that he admitted to in 2022. So this was not too far ago because we're in 2026. So 4 years ago. 4 years ago this happened. As a result, his association with Toyota, where he served as a public face of the company, was terminated. Fans of the Yakuza series are asking RGG Studio and publisher Sega to do likewise. However, some people are angered that Kagawa was hired for the job in the first place as a high-profile actor in Japan who played the leading roles and even won awards. Fans are dubious that RGG Studio and Sega were unaware of the sexual harassment accusations against the person brought on to play Go Hamazaki. Fans were calling for a boycott of the Yakuza Kiwami 3, asking for gamers to cancel their pre-orders to show their outrage. There's also currently a petition on change.org about the issue, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's okay, that's bad. That's bad too. And then some people are saying, not to mention they've changed actors before release previously. Okay. I don't know. For me, it is more so the game. Okay, sexual harassment's bad. I know that. Things are bad. But to me, if this is a video game, it's harder to replace audio actors and stuff and lines in games because it would take a lot longer and a lot more money to do it. They could just put on the beginning of the game or whatever. They could post something, say, hey, we understand. We hired this guy to do voice work. It would be very hard and expensive to change the voice work now. Sorry for that, but we do acknowledge we will not work with this guy in anything in the future. If if a character like his came up again or whatever, we're sorry for this, but something like that around the effect of that. For me though, I'm saying don't buy the game right now because it is just not enough for a $60 release. Maybe, like I said, a $45 to $50 release, sure. $60, I think they're asking a bit much. I think they're really dipping into that well, thinking fans are going to be wanting to just keep buying this. Now, no, they've been using, like I said, the Yakuza 6 engine for a lot of games. Pirate Yakuza, this and that, spin-offs. They've been doing a lot of games. They've been cranking out Yakuza game after Yakuza game, or Like a Dragon game after Like a Dragon game, whatever you want to consider them as. I think it's time for them to finally admit, or somebody trying to push them to say, hey, it's maybe time for a new engine, a new game engine, a new perspective on the series and such. To make it all fresh and brand new, look a bit, not that the games looked bad or ran bad or anything. I never had any problems with any of the games. They all looked pretty good to me, but maybe it is time for a change that they could get the games looking a bit better, run different, new game engine for these, instead of cranking out the same old, using the same assets over and over and over again, which I noticed in a lot of games. They used the same game engine assets over and over again. They used the same sites, like they used the Hawaii thing a couple of times and such, which is understandable if they want to, get use out of that stuff. And if they make a good, compelling reason to, like from Like a Dragon Like a Dragon, I forgot what it's called, in Hawaii or whatever. And then Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. When they did that, that was okay. I didn't mind that, because then you had Majima as the main character, protagonist that time, and he was on ships and you were going everywhere else, and then you'd eventually go to Hawaii and stuff and do your stuff. So I did not mind that once and all, but they did have different places to go on the sea, stuff like that. It was really fun and really entertaining to play. So I did not mind that, but for something like this, for a piece of history that they need to take seriously and stuff, I think they could have made it a little bit cheaper. I think they're just trying to squeeze money out of people. They've done it before. They're going to do it again. People complain about the New Game Plus modes. You got to buy the more expensive copy or pay for the DLC to get the New Game Plus modes that they took out of there. And they charging for that, and they charging for all this other stuff. Itsy bitsy stuff, and it's probably doesn't cost them as much as other typical games cost other studios to make, because they reuse a lot of the assets for a lot of stuff, and the technology's been there for a long time, so people are gonna call you out eventually for that. Now, the icing on the cake being that this guy being a past sexual harasser does not help their case at all either, even though this has been, I knew about this, of course, 4 years ago as well, because I remember them showing this stuff, and I remember reading the news story on that, and of course, Ryogoku, or RGG Studio, using them before. It's just kind of heinous. And this game is supposed to be coming out February 11th, so it's coming out pretty damn soon, and it's going to come out on most things except for Xbox for PC, of course. And I wonder how well it'll sell. If it does bad, maybe they'll finally hear people. Maybe they'll be like, okay, we did bad. This didn't go as what we planned. We tried to milk this thing too much, and we're not doing, actors aside, we're just pushing this thing thin, and people really just want a brand new Yakuza game and stuff, and a brand new, like a Dragon game or whatever, and new areas, new stuff, and they're not delivering on that. They're trying to, milk as much as they can out of stuff, and they think fans like me, the biggest fans, would just keep doing that, and I'm not gonna do that. Like I said, if it was like $50 or $40 for this game, I would totally purchased it. But still, I'll wait till it comes eventually to Xbox for PC, because it might eventually do that. Eventually, they might do that. I can't see why they wouldn't, especially if they want to, they lower the price and stuff. Then I'd definitely buy it on that platform. But until then, I will wait. I will give other people my money. There's other people that I will talk about shortly that I will be giving my money to for upcoming games, and then I'll be playing their game until another Yakuza game comes out. And plus, I still got all these other Yakuza games that came out that I repurchased and for the PC that I got to still play through. I still got Yakuza 4. Did I beat that already? I think I might have beat that. Maybe 5, 6, maybe 5 and 6 I got to play yet, which 5, like I said, I think that's the one that's a little, we'll find out on that. I keep forgetting. I think it's 5 is the one with Hiroka. Not that I don't like that girl, I just didn't want to play as her throughout most of the game, so That's what I'm saying about that. And 6, I love 6. 6 is Song of Life. That's badass. It really pulls at the heartstrings, and it's really, really a good game for that. But like I said, folks, if you listen to anything that I have to say, my opinions, whatever, listen to my advice here and listen to other people's advice that probably would say the same thing. Do not purchase this remake, remaster of Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties right now. Wait till they have to push it down in price, because that price will fall quickly. And wait till they fix some things, Wait till they fix some things. Wait till they drop the price. Until they answer the fans and stuff of the series, they're going to understand that people aren't going to take their bullshit anymore. And like I said, a lot of people have said it before, and even some of the devs inside RGG Studio was saying they would love to just make a brand new game engine, that they think it's time for a brand new game engine for the Yakuza Like a Dragon series, because they've been using this engine for so long. They even said it was time, and they want to make a new engine. So even people inside the company were willing to say that a new engine is needed already. So why not? Okay, so getting off one and going on another company that likes to make a lot of money and likes to, try to milk it from people from time again. This new one, this is also a story as well, but I'm going to do this now before the game's news. So GTA 6, everybody's always been talking about it. There's always something, some rumor or something, maybe news-ish coming out of Rockstar. Either they're firing people, good or bad, or leaks have come out, good or bad, and other information has surfaced, rumorvilles going everywhere, because this game has been in the making for some time now, and it's been pushed back, and now it's been pushed back to November, and this is supposed to be the final pushback, and it's supposed to come out this November, which will be very interesting to me and a lot of game journalists and people out there, because we're wondering how many people will actually be able to purchase this game, and how the gaming community will take this game going forward. Will it make its money back? Will it succeed? Will it actually be able to be sold? And will it sell at a normal price or at a premium? What's going to happen? A lot of questions still looming. And it's still, some people say it's very close. I still say it's a little far away. We'll wait till November comes up before I can say definitively that, yes, it's finally coming out. But if we don't see any pre-ordering to be able to be happening with this game yet, and we don't see any price points for this game yet, I cannot say that this game is coming out yet in November, even though it's supposed to. But it's Rockstar. They can do what they want to do up to a point. I'm sure Take-Two would eventually start knocking some boots and kicking some doors down if they don't, especially because of shareholders, itty-gritty shareholders. And so right here in this article, it says GTA 6 new information surfaces online. And this is rumored. This is rumored, folks. This is a story, but it's rumored. So claiming that the upcoming title will not have a physical release at launch. So basically, apparently, it appears that Rockstar Games' much-awaited title GTA 6 will not receive a physical release of the game on launch day, according to some leaks, I guess, from a Polish outlet called PPE.pl, who states their source handles video game sales in Europe. According to the report, Take-Two Interactive is not planning a physical edition of GTA 6 to avoid possible story or gameplay leaks. Because, it does seem very plausible of this, because, Rockstar is very, 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 very skittish and very, let's just say they're psychopaths on game leaks and stuff. You think Apple, which Apple used to be the biggest company that we would always hear about leaks and stuff and them not wanting things to be leaked. And, but you know, Apple hasn't done that for a while yet. And I see weird stuff in my sunglasses. That's the thing about wearing these prescription sunglasses. Sometimes you can see weird stuff in them. I see weird things. But yeah, still, Rockstar takes the top of that list now of, leaks and this and that. And they go right after those people. They do cease and assist. They'll send the cops. They'll shoot a missile at these people if they had one. You know, they'll squash the bugs and the people out there. They don't care. They'll bulldoze over anyone and anybody about leaks and stuff. That's what Apple used to do about, leaked hardware of the new iPhones and all that stuff. Now it's just Rockstar. Now it's just Rockstar doing that. And, I guess they're so squeamish that they want people to just see this game right when they want you to see this game, right when they want you to know about this game. And they'll take every action and precaution they can to do so. And if that means them just releasing this game digitally so they have the final push that button, release the game, let people download, then play the game action, they will do that. They will chain up each and every one of us to our computers, to our desks, saying, you can't do anything until we let you to. That's why a lot of streamers and game people out there are scared about, are we going to even be able to stream this game when it launches? Well, I know I will, folks. I, Mr. Mike, will definitely be streaming this fucking game day one on release date and stuff like that for first gameplay, and then probably playing on Friday night on GameOn and stuff, showing off the game. So, yeah. But still, I can understand why they want to release it digitally. Too, it's mostly a digital world anyways. For these consoles. So if it, because this is only releasing on consoles right now. This ain't releasing on the PC. It's not even, definitely probably not releasing on the Nintendo Switch 2, because I'm sure would be far too large. And two, Nintendo is very restrictive on what goes on the Switch 2 and stuff. Now, those older Grand Theft Autos, yes. The newer one, I don't know. GTA 6 for online and stuff. I don't think Nintendo would be up for that. But yeah. So I don't think that this game is ever coming to Nintendo Switch 2. It's not coming for the Switch 2. So don't even get your hopes up, Nintendo Switch 2 fanboys and girls out there. And like I said, PC, that's probably 6 years away. Unless if things changed and then they bring it out in like 2 years or something. But I can understand them just releasing this digitally first. But my notion is, my thing is, and the article keeps going on. They say, some reports are conflicting and stuff of this, that the physical version will arrive 3 to 4 weeks after the digital release, but others state it might not release a physical edition until early 2027 and stuff like that, that there's different things people are talking about in this article here. And for me, my prediction, and this is a prediction, this isn't fact, but a prediction, because we don't know for sure, because Rockstar hasn't stated any of this. This is coming from third parties, game distributors, stuff like that. So whatever they say, you got to take with, some grains of salt, because they might know a lot, but they don't know what Rockstar knows. And Rockstar is only going to let them know when Rockstar wants to let them know. If they need to order some physical copies of the game, if they want to even put it out on a physical disc right away. Eventually they probably will, because they made a shit ton of money reselling physical copies of GTA 5 on disc. Shit, they reselling GTA 5 and putting it out on Xbox for PC. That got me and Mr. Mike buying another copy of that game. So that'd be my third copy, because I bought it on the 360 when it came out at the very end of the 360 life cycle, that's when GTA 5 came out, folks. Remember, this was a 360 game originally at the end of the 360 life cycle. Then I bought it again for the Xbox One version when they updated the game to like the Xbox One, much better playing Grand Theft Auto. So I bought that copy, and then I bought it a third time, which was only like $10, but still $10 more in their pockets for the GTA for Xbox for PC version when it came out on Xbox for PC, which, you know, I don't mind doing because I wanted to play that on PC and then I could get some more achievements and stuff like that. So that was all cool. That's all good and fine, but they got me 3 times. And my thing is, I think they're just doing, not only are they paranoid, so I understand they're paranoid, but I'm also thinking they're thinking, oh, if we just release this digitally, we can sell a ton of copies digitally right away because people like me, yours truly, cannot wait. We're animals. We're all a bunch of animals. We cannot wait. We got to buy the game. We got to play that game right away. We got to play it like everybody else, and people will buy and play it. And then when they go, you know, either weeks later or even a year later, if they decide to push it to 2027, that's when they'll sell a physical copy and they know we'll all buy it again. Especially if they decide to do a collector's edition. Maybe they'll do a physical edition and then they'll do a physical collector's edition to get even more money out of the game. Because remember, this game has been in the works for a very long time, since Red Dead Redemption 2. This game costs a fortune. They're saying almost up to $1 billion for this game. It's getting close to $1 billion, they said, as reports have stated that this game has cost Rockstar and Take-Two to produce. So upwards to $1 billion, because this is going to be a giant game. There's no doubt about it that this game, GTA 6, is going to be a gigantic game. That's what we're hearing. That's what reports were here. That's what those map people were talking about, that this is going to be a lot larger, like 3+ times larger than GTA 5's map and stuff like that. If that's all true, if that's what's going to happen, and that's what I think they want to do, and I'm not going to doubt those people, those map people, because people at Rockstar did state that they did want to make the largest map ever, this largest game map, open world map ever created. They did state that they always wanted to keep going bigger. And frankly, that's what they're going to do with this. So I can see that. I can see this game being almost $1 billion to make this game. Way more than any film in a franchise. Way more than even the Avatar films. So they're going to need a lot of money back, cash back, for this. And we haven't heard anything about GTA Online, anything with GTA 6. They haven't talked anything really about the game. They showed off, a little bit of the game here and there with the characters, some stuff in the games and stuff like that. But they really didn't show off the games or the gameplay. They didn't show off anything GTA Online related, because people would like to know what that's going to be, if they're going to include that right away in the version. And 2, like I said, they probably want to keep reselling this game as many times as possible, because then they'll get those sales, they'll get that coverage, they'll keep making more money off of it. And right now, they're still getting news. So people are still talking about, like me, still talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 and Rockstar and stuff like that. So they don't have to put out any press releases. They don't have to put out game trailers. They don't have to really do anything until they want to, because they know people are still talking about this game, even though it's not even close to being out yet, because November's far away, folks. It's a little far away. So they got the word still. The word is still going strong for Grand Theft Auto 6, so they're happy about it. People are still other game makers and publishers are pissed off at them, of course, for keep pushing their game back, but they're also staying the fuck out of GTA's way, because they know this is going to be a juggernaut of a game that's going to crush everything, and it'll probably crush even Minecraft and Fortnite and stuff like that, and Battlefield or whatever people are playing, the other bunch of games that people only play. I bet this game will definitely top. This was in the top of the games as well, but I'm pretty sure GTA 6 will top out everything else and just blow every other game out of that category. I think Fortnite will be dropping some players for a while when GTA 6 comes about. I think over there at over there at Epic, we'll be like, oh shit, oh man, we're losing so many players because GTA 6 came out. Oh my god, because everybody's playing GTA 6 and GTA 6 online. Oh shit. But like I said, for me, I'm waiting. I will be playing that day one. I will be getting the game digitally no matter what. And sure, I have the console to play it, so I will be playing on my Xbox Series X console when it comes out. People with PS5s and PS5 Pros will be playing it on those respective consoles as well. And 5 to 6 years later, if they put it out for Xbox for PC and Steam and all that stuff, I will buy it again for the PC. Because why not? Unless if they put it out sooner. If things have changed and Take-Two or somebody says, hey, you guys got to put this PC version out sooner than later because we gotta sell some more of these copies. We gotta get some more of these. We gotta make some more money off this game because you guys have spent a shit ton of money making this game, and I know they're gonna make them more money on GTA Online and Shark Cards and all that stuff. I'm sure they're gonna continue that, anyways. But I think this juggernaut of game is gonna be something. And like I said, I don't care really too much nowadays about physical or digital. Everything's going digital anyways, and for me it seems a lot simpler to just own it digitally now, because none of the games are on, most of the game isn't on the discs anyways, especially a game this size. It would take at least more than one Blu-ray disc to store most of this game, which they would not do. They would put one Blu-ray disc in the physical copy of GTA 6, and then you'd have to download the other half a terabyte of whatever information to play this game on your Xbox anyways, so, or PlayStation 5. So so me just buying it, playing it digital, doesn't matter because it's all going to be on the hard drive anyways. So if it's all going to be digital on the hard drive, I got a fast internet connection. I can download this game in I don't know. I can't say how long because it depends on how big the game file is, but I bet I can download that game and a lot faster than most people out there. And then I'll play it. What else can I do? So I'm buying it digitally. If they ever had a good collector's edition of this game afterwards, like if it does come out just digital only and then later they got a physical edition and it comes with like some really good game collectibles or statues or something, maybe a statue of Luisa, what is her name, Luisa, and stuff, and her boy toy. Maybe I'd get that. I don't know. I got most of the GTA collector's editions, as stupid as they would be. They're sitting in totes somewhere in my house, just because I don't got anywhere to put some of them. But I did get the lockbox. I did get the GTA 5 hat and stuff like that. That was all cool. I like the GTA 5 hat. I wonder where I got that. I wonder where that's at. I would bring that out and wear that, but that's a definite collector's item, and you can't probably get one of those hats very easily. I'll check eBay, but maybe you can't get that hat very easily. So, but I do have the hat. And I did buy a lot of the GTA collector's editions. I wish they would have like little statues of these guys and stuff and next to a car or something. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be badass. Just giving Rockstar ideas to make more money off of me and other people. But yeah, that's what's going on with GTA, folks. On top of that, because I was talking about GTA and GTA Online, excuse me for, like I said, the video viewers here. My shoulder's acting up. But for all you people that are buying digital games, or digital games or physical games, and if you're still reselling your games or giving them to GameStop and stuff, and publishers still hate that and all that. And it's been said again that game publishers still do not like physical game resales out there, even though GameStop is not really a thing anymore. I would have to say, because what pathetic person would still trade in their games to GameStop nowadays? You would have to be really, really tight on money and really, really pathetic to do that. I'm just saying, because that's not an ideal thing to do. You probably could get more money from your game selling it on eBay or something nowadays than that. But you know what? I always thought, and like I said, this could be a little bit too late. I don't know, especially when there's more publishers and people going more digital than physical out there. And then if you get these games, if you buy these games from like game boutiques out there, like they got those special collector's edition of games and stuff that come from like what are they called? Oh shoot, I forgot their name already. But limited run games and stuff, like Limited Run makes limited run copies of games and such. If you get those types of games from those people, you're not reselling those games. You're putting those in your game collection. You're keeping those copies, those physical copies. Like I got a limited run copy of what was it? Street Fighter? It was like Street Fighter, right? Or was it? No, it was Virtual Fighter. I still haven't played it. It's still wrapped up. But I bought a physical copy of that because it's limited run and it's something that, it's good to have, for keepsake and stuff, good collectors. And they're getting less and less out there because they know a lot of people don't have disk drives in consoles anymore like they used to. And that market is becoming very tight, especially nowadays when people can't even buy consoles because they're so expensive or not available or outpricing their own community and stuff. So, but people like GameStop reselling and selling games, and I could say this for any game publisher. It could be Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo, or even if they're third-party people selling, if it's these game publishers selling their games digitally to through Steam or Epic Games and stuff. Instead of people reselling their digital copies of this or selling their, because I think that people can resell their digital copies sometimes in certain sites and whatnot. That's not really a big thing right now. It's been like tested out once in a while to resell your game license to somebody else to be able to play that digital game. But for physical games, like your disc-based games and stuff like that, instead of letting GameStop and people buy your games and whining and complaining about it, and they should have did this a long time ago, like EA should have did this a long time ago, instead of trying to charge people extra money to get a copy of a certain game, and if they wanted to play online, they would have to pay them like another $5 or $10. What they should have did, a smarter thing, a more economic and consumer-facing thing would have been, hey, we'll undercut GameStop or anybody else if they're giving you like $10 to $20 per these games to give them back to them, trade them into them. We'll give you the same amount of money or even more so for like if you wanted a digital credit or something, or even if you just wanted the money. But if you wanted digital credit for an upcoming game, one of our games and stuff or whatever, we'll give you like more than what GameStop would give you. If they gave you 10 to 15, we'll give you 10 to 20 or more, depending on the game and what kind of condition and collector's item or not. And we'll let you we'll send you a, label or a package thing or whatever, or just a label that you can slap in a package and send it to us over at whatever, Rockstar North or Capcom or something. If they would have did that and they would have had their own trade-in programs, or if they had a collective trade-in program between all the publishers and people could just trade into this one special trade-in thing for the publishers and stuff, then they could get all those games back, all those physical copies back they could either resell them or recycle them or destroy them or whatever they're going to do with them, probably destroy them. And then they could go ahead later and resell more copies brand new to people out there, or maybe make a remaster or whatever, or remake or remaster of certain games and then put those out there. And because there will be less of the older stock out there, because people will be willing to trade, people are willing to trade in those games and get 10 to 20 plus dollars for these games to go towards new games or whatever, or get cash on hand or whatever. That means there's less in that pipeline, and they could go, oh, you really want to play this game again? Well, we'll definitely resell you this game for full price, this remaster that's coming out, which will offer a little bit more and this and that. And that would have helped a lot of game publishers. That would have made them way more money if they didn't, abuse it and stuff. And I think that would have made down the road some more profit for these people. And I don't know why they never thought about that. Why didn't they just come out and create a thing like GameStop or something and do the thing? I know that's not really their thing, and their thing is to make new games or remakes or remasters and put them out there to sell. But why not go ahead and do a whole, we're putting this out in the pipeline, we're putting all these games on in the outside for the pipeline and stuff into the chain. Why don't we just create a thing where we can just get those games back from our loyal fans that are done with them, that don't want to play them anymore, that want new games or whatnot, and we'll just give them a credit or whatever back after they give us their game? Why not? That would have been the smartest thing to do. And like I said, EA and Ubisoft and a whole bunch of other people would have benefited greatly for this. Plus, gamers would be very happy with them, be very thankful for these people, and they would have said, oh, yeah, I'll keep buying my games from this company because they're offering me this much more money back for this game, so I could just go back to them and buy some new games or whatnot, or I get this much cash money back so I can put it to something else or whatever. And that would have been a lot better than them crying and complaining and trying to charge their customers extra money for these used copies of games by trying to limit how they were going online or something. And that was just a brief period. That was an EA brief period for EA and some people to do that. Nowadays, like I said, more games are digital, so that those game licenses are locked to your devices, be it Xbox or PlayStation or PC, through Steam and stuff. But they could still do it. They could still do it. If there's still people putting out physical games, they could still do it. And it still would be worthwhile, I would think, for those companies, because then they'd be like, oh, yeah, we're still making money off these games. We could repurpose these games and sell them again, recycle them, or do whatever with them and sell new copies, and you're never flooding the pipeline. And customers are happy. I don't know. Just one of those ideas that was bouncing around in Mr. Mike's head. And sure, somebody's going to come out there and write a little review or whatever, or a comment on my comment section on my YouTube page saying, no, Mr. Mike, that can never happen because they just don't have the facilities and the ability to do something like that. Well, how come? I know GameStop and everybody else can do that. And if these game publishers could do all this other stuff and, out there and put out games to begin with, why not have a simple training program? Even work with like Microsoft and PlayStation and Sony and Nintendo and say, hey, let's have a special training program for all our games through you guys, and you can give them credit for new games on the Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo Switch 2 or something like that. Why not? And have it for also digital games so people could just rebuy, and then later you could resell and newer editions of the game digitally on these platforms. It sounds like a great idea to me. Then the money keeps going around and around and around, and people will keep buying your games, and you keep giving them a little bit of incentive back. And I think that sounds like a great opportunity. Why nobody's ever thought of that, or why that's never happened yet, I don't see anything wrong with the logistics of that. I really do not. Unlike this next topic that people been complaining about, and I've been hearing it from a lot of podcasters out there, a lot of game reviewers out there. I've installed on my machine here and a couple machines some of these secure boot security for PCs type of games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 4. I have on my machine here, and of course GTA 5 on my Xbox Raw Galley X. Those have that anti-cheat software and that anti-piracy software in them and stuff like that. So low-level software that could potentially be harmful to my computers, your machines, and stuff like that. Is it as bad as it seems? Okay. I had to pause the podcast, like always. Got really too hot in here. I had to go to the bathroom, and then it was too hot in here. It went up from 71 degrees in this office to 74 degrees. Go figure. Very, very hot temperature here. So I had to lower the temperature in this office because between my hot mouth and all the heat coming out of my mouth here and my supercomputer behind the front of the closet there, that's a lot of heat in this office in the wintertime. Now, no, I was just complaining how cold it was outside. Well, I'm complaining how hot it is in my office because shit. And now it's 70, well, it went down to 74.3 degrees. Hopefully it goes down a little bit more because I was sweating my balls off there. Back to the secure boot, security for PCs. So like I said, I have, my main machine here has some of that secure boot security crap on it. Just because I do want to play GTA 4 sometimes because we did that video. That was pretty fun. And I have Red Dead Redemption on there, and I do want to eventually continue to play that game. And then on my handheld, on my Xbox Raw Galley X, which eventually, I might just, take off GTA 4 and Red Dead Redemption off my main machine here and just leave them on my Xbox Raw Galley X because that's all that machine does. This is my production machine, work machine, home for taxes and doing a whole bunch of private things machine. I don't need backdoors and faulty security software on there that does low-level command work on the machine at the OS level. That's what Secure Boot is. That's what that security software for anti-cheat, any anti-cheat software that you get for with a game on for your computer or has you enable Secure Boot and stuff like that. That is low-level security, meaning it goes at the level of your operating system. Your operating system is at the lowest possible point of the computer. The only other possible lower level than that is probably your BIOS, in your computer, which is built into your motherboard and stuff like that. Otherwise, it is the operating system, so Windows, stuff like that, Linux, all that stuff. And if the software that you get requires you to have a security boot, enable security boot, or use their security boot security software or their anti-cheat software, that means that software is going to be installed on the lowest level, the lowest part of that kernel of your operating system, so that it can work between that secure level of the operating system, meaning it will either allow or block anything and everything, and that only usually Windows is allowed to do, but because this is running at that level, think about it as like your antivirus software. I don't even use anybody's antivirus software. I only use Microsoft's antivirus software because it's built into Windows 11, and it's designed not to fuck with Windows 11 as much as everybody else's, even though it's at that low level at the Windows kernel level. But that's what I use. I use that. I use the Windows firewall and stuff like that. In the early days of Windows, I think I did in 7 as well. But Windows 7 is when they started doing their own antivirus software. I think Microsoft started doing their own antivirus and firewall software. That's when they were getting into it. It was still separate products, but they were providing it. So I started going to their software. But before that, it was like Windows XP and stuff like that. And before that, that's when I used like AVG antivirus, Norton, stuff like that. Not that I ever used Norton. Norton was very, and it still is today, the very worst software out there to use. And like I said, I don't agree with anybody putting on any antivirus software or third-party antivirus software because you have it built into Windows. And still, you could still get viruses, Trojans, all that great stuff if you're just very insecure of using your computers and stuff. If you're not staying off those malicious sites and doing heinous stuff on your computer, you could still get this shit. So it's not like this antivirus software from anybody or even Microsoft could protect you or save you, because you can fuck up your own stuff with this Trojans and stuff. Now for PC games and stuff, they just don't want people going around online on online portions of games and cheating and stuff like that, or they don't want people stealing games digitally or digital games of their games online and stuff like that. So they have that anti-cheat software for people for online, and then they got this other software for anti-piracy software for their games because they're scared people are gonna still take their games and redistribute them everywhere, and everybody's going to be playing them for free and stuff, even though they could do other stuff behind the scenes where people, they could do it better, where the games can ask people when they load up. Like if a guy ripped off somebody's game and they were going to start and play it, they could just do the thing at the server level instead of putting heinous software on people's computers. They could just say, hey, when your game loads up and you want to play it, it has to ping back to our server before it can play it. And then if it goes to our server and the server says, nah, this ain't an official copy of the game, it'll ping back saying, hey, you got to buy this game. They could do that because games like Street Fighter do that. Other games do that. Why can't most of these companies do that themselves instead of buying this anti-piracy, anti-cheat? And for the anti-cheat software, for all the secure boot stuff and all like that, now I'm not an online multiplayer player that much. I don't play online games at all, really. I'm not playing World of Warcraft. I'm not playing Fortnite or Battlefield or Call of Duty. I'm not playing any of those games online. I'm not playing stuff like that. Even GTA Online, I haven't played in them a bajillion years, even though I can. Those games, they could do a lot differently. They should let the players decide what they want to do before choosing for them. Like if I want to play Grand Theft Auto and I want to play online, and I don't care about cheaters and stuff like that, and I'll take it as my own risk and stuff, and I could go in there, but I just don't want to install the anti-cheat software and all that bullshit, or the spy or the cheat spy software, then let me opt out of it. Let me say no, but I'll continue to play, and then put people like me that don't use that anti-cheat software, that low-level kernel stuff, put me in a separate server category. Put me in one of those categories that says, hey, he chose not to choose that. If he wants to choose it and he downloads it and updates it and gets that anti-cheat and spy software on his machine, then he could play on these other servers where people are able to play and go to because they got that software installed to keep people from cheating and hacking and doing all that stuff. So there should be two separate servers for this stuff. Why they don't? Cost, of course, probably, but mostly they're just lazy. They're lazy and they don't want to do it. That's my whole thing. They can do it. They can solve the problem. They don't have to spend all this extra hard money and time to get people to just do that. But shit, if you want to play on like a Battlefield 6 or Call of Duty or all this stuff, instead of having to install this mandatory low-level bullshit software that could be very bad for your system, for anybody's PC system out there. If there's a bug in the software or whatnot, and third-party malicious parties can come in there and get into your machines and hack your machines and do whatever they can do to your machines if it's not properly patched and working. Plus, there's the backdoor problem that you would not think that any of this software that they put in these games has a backdoor, but I bet most of this anti-cheat and these anti-piracy software things have a backdoor to them so that people can go in there and check out things and, third parties or, their own systems and stuff. And plus, eventually you notice that a lot of these companies, when they have their anti-piracy software on there for a little while, they decide to take it off eventually. And then what do you do? You got to re-download the game and all that? Or do they just give you an update where they can patch it out in an update because they got the backdoor software? So there's things like that I have issues with because I just don't trust any of these publishers to really take care enough to keep people like me, our system, safe. Now, note, I take a risk when I have some of the software on my main machine here when I do video game playthroughs of stuff. Like I said, I do have Red Dead Redemption 2 on here. Red Dead Redemption. They came with some anti-piracy software or whatever. I do have Grand Theft Auto 4 on here. Eventually I might take those off because, like I said, I'll put those games on my Xbox ROG X to play because, frankly, I'm going to play those games on there anyways. But I always felt like, well, sometimes I might want to do a Let's Play or something of them someday on my machine and let all you guys watch me play it. But if there's software on there that could potentially harm my machine or allow attackers or hackers into my machine, that's not good. And I don't want to scare anybody. I've been around computers for most of my life, since I was a wee little kid, like 6 years old or something, when my late mother was at college, at community college and stuff. It was more of a business college. She was at college. She brought me along, and we were in the computer library, and I was able to. They let me go on a computer and play with paint and all that stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? I'm like, what am I? I'm able to paint on this thing. I'm able to type. I'm able to look up stuff on this thing. Whoa! What the fuck is this thing? And I was just with paint alone and stuff, I was just amazed on what a computer was back in the day. And then as I grew up, Windows 95, 98, all that stuff, Windows 3.1 as well I used, even though that was a more old school, shittier version. I just grew into it, and then I grew up with computers, and it's just like, wow. And then I learned how they worked. I learned how Windows worked and everything else worked on them in the back. And this was before I even knew Linux was even around. And boy, oh boy, it changed my life a lot. I became the geek of geeks. And now I just, I love working on computers. That's why I don't hate Windows as much as a lot of people. There's a lot of Windows hate right now. There's a lot of Windows 11 hate, I can understand Microsoft hate because Microsoft's been fucking shit up left and right, not just for their company, but for other things within the company and other parts of the company. I can understand that. And for those people that are pissed off at them because of that, hey, you have every fucking right to be, because Microsoft, they used to be a shitty company in the early days. They used to be bastards, and then they turned out to be better. They bettered themselves, and now they're back to their bastardly ways, and now they're losing money. They lost over, $400 billion and stuff, and money, and the stock market dropped $400 billion for them and stuff. Good. I hope that keeps happening. I hope the rest of the shareholders, the board, I hope Nadella starts to see the light, even though I don't think that's happening yet, because I heard Nadella and them just struck a deal with SK Hynix and a couple other places to push even more chips being made and stuff and memory and chips and software being made to for their AI initiative. And I'm like, are you guys ever going to get it? Are you ever going to fucking get it, Microsoft? Out of all companies, why hasn't Microsoft not get in and said, hey, you know what? Why don't we back off a little bit on this AI initiative? Why don't we focus on our main company properties here? Let's get back into focusing on Xbox, which we just tanked into the ground with our greed and stupidity, and everybody else and all our other software, make Windows 11 better, or make Windows 12 eventually, make that better, and work on Office, get Office better again, because you're pissing everybody else off into the Office categories as well. And I don't know why. I don't know why they're so stubborn in doing that. I don't know why any of these people, they're all a bunch of sheep right now, or sheeple, I should say, just following that path all the way to that iceberg. We're on the Titanic. We're on the PC Titanic, and it's heading right for that iceberg, and it's going to hit it dead on, and it's going to take on that water, and that, like I said, hopefully that bubble bursts. I personally do not care. Sure, stock market, great turmoil, all that great fun stuff I hear about every day. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. I've been through recessions, never had any problems. You know, I'm not rich. I don't even have that much money in the stock market, so it does not bother somebody like me. It does not. For all you that have tons of money in the stock market and for stuff like that, well, what can I say? 401ks, I don't have those either, at least not the ones that you guys have. So it doesn't bother me. And that sounds more negativity from me, but you know what? You know, I seen the writing on the wall a very long time ago, way before they started talking about AI and shit like that. I saw it during the pandemic. This is when I started seeing the writing on the wall. When I seen our former government officials tanking our way of life, tanking how the stock market was going and stuff, tanking. When I used to have a 401k and I cashed that sucker out as fast as I could, because I'm like, I'm losing thousands and thousands of dollars every month. And I'm like, why? And why am I keeping money in here and putting more money in here? I just eventually just said, no, that's enough is enough. And I just cashed that sucker out, paid the penalties and stuff like that, and put my money elsewhere, because I was like, this is not working. This is not working out. And thankfully I did, because now I got, you know, I'm more financial stable and stuff, and I don't have to worry about how the stock market and everything does right away. And like I said, I've been putting a little bit of money into the stock market through like one of those robo apps, and I've been doing little at a time. So even if the stock market bubble bursts and everything crashes, it's not going to affect me one way or another. This is just a little bit of play money in there. So yeah. So from GTA 6 to digital fuckery and stuff like that. Yeah. That's where I worry about. I don't worry about what's going on in this state or that state. I don't worry about what's going on with our government or whatnot, or ICE or like that, like other people are. I'm worrying about the real deals of stuff, folks. I'm worrying about the real way of life. Financial money way of life. You know, we don't have money coming in this country. We don't have business. We don't have money in this country. Then how are we going to all live? How's this country going to survive? That's the real deal. That's the real deal. People are looking away, crying and complaining about this and that. You're not looking at the bigger picture, people. Not looking. People are blind to it. They're blind to it because they're so caught up in all the drama and all the sheeple and stuff. They're not worried about the real deal. Who's thinking about the video games, people? Who's thinking about those video games? Those poor little video games that need to be purchased and played. Who's thinking about those? I am. I know a few others are. Okay, so what's to talk about before I talk about what I want to announce pre-announce. Let's just say not announce, but pre-announce. We're going to talk about the games that I played in the past week. So it's not many, so that's what we're going to get through first.
The games that have been played in the past week.
I need a drink of water first, so excuse me for this. I could always do this while we're doing it. Just wanted to do a few sound effects there before I, because I had to drink some more water. My throat getting a little dry. Like I said, it's still 74.3 degrees in this office here. Go figure. But I got the fan on up above me, so I'm a little cooled off right now. I was sweating. You don't notice it. I look too damn good, but I was sweating over here in this office. I've been in here too long today. I've been sitting on my ass too long today. I got to go sit on my ass in the living room next. Play some games and watch some shows and movies. So games that I played for this past week, not many. I've been, like I said, it's been a long week, a lot of snowy week and stuff, and I was just so tired from work and stuff like that, and all the snow. It just drained my energy this week. But I did get in to play some Assassin's Creed Shadows, which I haven't played for over a week, I think. Yeah, I haven't played Assassin's Creed Shadows for a while because I've been playing other games. But Friday I played Assassin's Creed Shadows, as you know, if you watched my stream. Still fun as hell. And even though I was having some like controller issues, I don't know if it was the controller because I put in a new controller battery and my console is not that far from my office here. It's only next door to my office, so I don't know why, if it could be a lag issue or anything, or if something was going on. Maybe they did a patch or something and it made the game a little weirder, but I was having some issues with my controller gameplay and my character Naomi. I was complaining and whining a little bit, if you didn't know. It's really fun, but I still kicked ass. I didn't die. I still kicked everybody's ass. I took a lot of names. I made a lot of profit. I expanded my territory, and I still did not touch any of the main story. That's why it's my ongoing game. It'll be on my ongoing game for a very long time. And that's how I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. I didn't really focus on it. I did eventually focus on it, but I played it like sparingly over time because I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a long game, so I might as well treat it like a long game and just play the long running game on that and not worry about playing it day in, day out, because it's not like I'll forget how to play the game or anything if I don't play it. And I didn't play it for a week, but I still remembered how to play Assassin's Creed or Shadows. I almost called it Odyssey. And still fun. Love it. I'll jump back into it once in a while, especially on stream. It's a great streaming game. A lot of people like watching me stream and play Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I like you guys for watching my streams at 8 p.m. Eastern time on OldFreakyGamer.com, YouTube.com at OldFreakyGamer, or Twitch.tv/OldFreakyGamer. That's where you can watch me play video games, either it be GameOn or something else, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time on any of those places. Or just go to OldFreakyGamer.com and then you can see my live stream right there on the main page, or you could find my other live streams and various stuff through links that I have on the page as well. But streaming and playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, fun game. So much value in that game. So much value. People talk about Fortnite and all these other games, but man, I don't feel at any time ever ripped off by Assassin's Creed Shadows. And there's a news story, which I don't have in my news section, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. Talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows and talking about Ubisoft and that they're not really doing so hot right now, that it is rumored and stated. I think I talked about this last week maybe, but it's been rumored and stated that they might be selling them, trying to sell it, put themselves for sale eventually or whatnot. And, you know, you got Tencent that owns a part of them and stuff. They own some of their, working with them with their franchises. and they haven't been making the bacon with their games, but they've been, really working hard at adding more value to their older games and stuff, and putting more value into all their games. You could say all you could say about Ubisoft being like a very bad place to work, with the harassments back in the day. I don't know if that still goes on there. I don't know if they still have problems behind the scenes, but besides all that, that's a company that really provides. And they always have. I never had any real big issues with Ubisoft games and Ubisoft not supporting their games and their gamers out there at all. That's one thing I can say about that company. And them adding extra value into their games. Like they've been redoing. They were sending patches to games like Far Cry, all these Far Cry games, and up-resing them and all this other stuff, adding more content to other games. I bet Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to get even more content updates and stuff in the future, even though they did cancel that one DLC, but they're still adding lots of value. And like I said, in Assassin's Creed Shadows, there's so much to do in that game. It's so much to play. And I didn't even spend $60 or $70 on this game. I think I spent like maybe 40 or 50. It might have been just 40, but I remember not spending that much on the game because I bought it later, of course, because I had other games to play. And I bought this. I waited a little bit later until there was a sale, and I bought it. And I'm like, wow, that's a good price for it. And then playing this, I'm like, so much value for so much game. It's just remarkable what Ubisoft does. And I wish other studios followed suit on that, but not like Ubisoft's doing any better. But still, it's like, wow. I feel so happy to buy a Ubisoft game. And I do buy a bunch of Ubisoft games. When Ubisoft has some games for sale and they're good games, I will buy them. Unlike EA, which I haven't bought a single EA game. Well, you could say that Star Wars Jedi what was it called? Jedi Survivor? I think that was the last Oh, it could have been. Did that come out before or after the Dead Space remake? I forgot which one came first, but it was between those two. And those were like the only EA game properties that I bought from EA so far. But otherwise, EA is probably the least company that I get any games from their libraries or catalogs or anything nowadays. And then, you got, of course, Microsoft Studios. I get most of my gaming from them. And then you get sprinkled around here and there from other studios and games and stuff like that. But Ubisoft always has been a strong game provider and game value provider from their games to people that are willing to put down some money for Ubisoft. You put down money for a Ubisoft game, you're mostly always guaranteed a lot of value for that game. Now, they have fucked up time here and there. I think it was one of those, I forgot what it was. Was it one of those, I'm trying to think of the game. The Crew or something? Was it The Crew? Not The Crew 2, but Crew. One of the Crew games, they delisted it or something. I don't know what happened there, but there was one game I think they delisted. I think it was The Crew, and people got pissed off because it's like, oh, we can't download this again. We can't play this. They took it out of our libraries and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, understandable, but it was an old game, and they got the sequel to that game, and it's been a while, and okay, times are different, but okay, I understand, but gotta say, Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Shadows, I love it. It should sell better. Just like how I thought Star Wars Outlaws should have sold better. This game should definitely sell better because it's a great game. And I tell people this. You watch me play it. Play the damn game. Play Assassin's Creed Shadows because it is fun. They don't have to pay me for that. Ooh, my temperature went down in my room. They don't have to pay me to say this. I just say it from the bottom of my heart. I'm not a paid spokesman for anybody, people. I'm not a shill. I'm not a gamer sheep. I say it from the heart because I believe it. Assassin's Creed Shadows is fun. And like I said, I've been playing that. I haven't played it for over a week, but I jumped in yesterday Oh my God, so much fun. So much fun. Till the next time. Been getting back into the Outer Worlds 2. Been playing it on my Xbox Raw Galley X. Runs great. Plays great on there. I've been really getting into it. I was getting a little with some of the story missions were dragging on and stuff, and I was trying to figure out what to do, and then I found out what to do. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what to do again. I'm stuck at another point where I'm like, well, what do I go from here? What do I do from here? I got to figure it out. Eventually, I'll figure it out. But I've been playing that game. I've been pushing through. I've been doing more stuff in the Outer Worlds 2. It is very fun when it's fun. When it gets to some certain weird, difficult parts where you can't figure out where you're going or what you're doing because the point-to-points, especially on the map, don't make sense. And it doesn't really help you too much on how to figure out where to get to that objective. Even though sometimes it should show it, but it does or it doesn't. And then it's like, okay, you got to figure it out. And it can get a little bit annoying. Excuse me for the semi-talk yawn there. It could get a little bit annoying, but once you push through that, it's really good of a game. And I've been really following the story in Outer Worlds 2 because, the space-time continuum and the rifts have been a real bad nuisance around there. Been real bad times for people in the Outer Worlds too, I'm going to say. The rifts, those rifts remind me of Star Trek Next Generation when the warp drives were causing these rifts in space and it's causing these black hole anomalies and stuff like that. And then they had to change their warp drives and warp drive signatures to not cause holes in the galactic system. Oh, if Scotty was still around, he'd be like, what are you talking about? This is a sound technology. He'd be arguing with those people. But Outer Worlds 2, still fun game. I am still I want to push through that, though. I want to get that done. I want to get that game done because there's other games coming out, like I said, and there's a lot of other games I got to play. There's a lot of games like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Rebirth. What is it? Remake, Integrate? Yeah, Remake, Integrate. Because I found out Rebirth is a second game of that. I thought you got both games in one. That's what it seemed like, and that's a big no-no. You only get the one game, and then there's another supposedly game coming down the works, and then the third one's going to come out for everybody, and it's like, okay, thank you, Square Enix. Because I didn't know, because Square Enix likes to make everything complicated with their naming schemes. So why didn't they just call this Final Fantasy VII just Rebirth? Why do they call it Rebirth Integrate? I don't get that. That name means nothing. Nothing. Integrate means nothing. It's a made-up word from them. It means nothing, but they added it. Talk about games of that. But yes, Outer Worlds 2, I am going to continue to play it. I don't know how far in the story I am or in the game, but I should be pretty far. I played a lot of that game, and like I said, I'm still trudging through it, playing it. When I beat it, I'll say, hey, yay, I beat it. Check it off my list. Go on to the next game. And then there's the third game, Powerwash Simulator 2. Of course, that's a jump-in, jump-out game, just like Assassin's Creed Shadows to me. If I just want to relax and I don't want to get into any shooty fun stuff, and I'm getting tired. I just want to play a little something soothing that doesn't involve much of my brain power or anything, and I just jump into some Powerwash Simulator 2 and just clean up some shit off of buildings and aircrafts and stuff like that. And boy, such a soothing, fun time in Powerwash Simulator 2. I wish they had like a music category where you could put in your own music, or they put in some music that you can listen to while you're power washing. That would be really cool. Why they didn't do that in this game yet is beyond me, but maybe the third game. Maybe when they come out with Powerwash Simulator 3, maybe they'll let you add your own custom soundtracks, or they can add their own custom soundtracks and stuff. And because Powerwash Simulator is fun. It's fun. The first one is fun. I beat that. This one is fun. I'm going to definitely beat this. And then I'm going to just wait for Crime Scene Cleaner 2, because that'll be another game that I'll love to play. That's so stupid, but still, I'll love to play it. Haven't played any Supermarket Simulator. I pushed that aside for a little bit. I will jump back into that again, but that's mostly just grinding time now with Supermarket Simulator. That's all I'm doing is grinding and grinding. Grinding to the finish line. Got to get those levels up. That's the only thing. Otherwise, haven't been playing anything else. I downloaded something else. I downloaded that one game on my Xbox, but I haven't played it yet. Maybe I'll try that out eventually, but no, haven't played it yet. But I only played like 3 games this week. So like I said, it's been a very light gaming week with light games due to the weather conditions. And you would think if it was really wintry bad and snow and cold, that Mr. Mike would be sitting at home drinking my hot chocolate. Oh, and today, I know this, you're watching and listening to this podcast on Monday, so it's way past the day, but today's Saturday. Apparently, it's National Hot Chocolate Day. I will be definitely getting some hot chocolate, maybe even after this podcast, and I'll get some hot chocolate, and I'm going to sit back, relax, drink some nice hot chocolate before I go night-night or sleepy time or whatever, and yeah, that should be good for National Hot Chocolate Day. Yeah, you would think I'd be sitting back, drinking some hot chocolate, playing some games, but no, I've been going to work. It hasn't been that bad that I couldn't go to work, so I was going to work, doing work stuff, snow blowing, shoveling all day. I know. I do it to myself. Otherwise, been fun. So those were the games I played in the past week. Why don't we get into what I was going to announce, and I'm going to announce it here. I should just take this shirt. No, the shirt's underneath it. I don't need to show it, but I'll put it up on the screen here because you can see the logo. You see already, you see this giant Mr. Mike behind me, right? You're probably wondering, why does Mr. Mike have a giant drawn picture of himself? Which, yes, I drew that, myself. That is me. Actually playing. That's off a photo. I took a photo of myself playing a game. Hold on. I'll move out of the way. Okay, that wasn't good at all. And for your audio people, it's definitely not good for you if you're not watching this on video. But for your audio people. But on the screen here, I'm going to pop up my logo. I, Mr. Mike, am announcing the new soon-to-be latest new series of show called Game Through, and that is going to be with me, Mr. Mike. Let's see if I can do this right. Game Through with Mr. Mike. There it is. There's my logo. Made it myself. Drew it myself. I am very creative, I got to say. Like I said, I took this off... I took my picture off. I drew this off my photo of myself, and I created the game name, Game Through, because I was thinking of a bunch of names, but some reason I was half asleep or sleeping or whatever, high sleeping, I don't know. And I'm like, everybody has playthrough or do this GameOn. I already have GameOn and stuff and all this other stuff. I'm like, how about if I just want to play through games? And I do that once in a while. Like I got my Yakuza Like Me series. I had the BioShock, Big Daddy BioShock series, which I finally finished. Unless if another BioShock game comes sooner than later in the works, which we keep hearing that there is a new BioShock game in the works from Take-Two. So, that could happen. Or we could just say, hey, what about that Judas game that apparently Ken Levine is and his studio is working on? I'm going to make my logo a little smaller and put it a little bit there so people could see this in the video portion of the podcast. But yeah, those are like games that I play through, but those are just for those games. Now, I might just want to play a different type of game all the time, and I want to play through the whole game. Now, note, my version of playthrough or game through, as this is saying, because I was going to say playthrough, but I'm like, let's make it really, really stupid and unique. And I said game through because I'm gaming through the games. I'm gaming through these games. And my whole notion is I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to play every single thing in the game. I'm not going to do all the extra side missions or DLC or anything like that. I'm just going to play the game as I play the game, like I do like with the Yakuzas and the Bioshocks and stuff. And I'm just going to play through the story and beat the game. So that is going to be the series. And I'm going to pre-record all the episodes. So they're all going to be pre-recorded already. And then I'll put them out one a week or something like that, or 2 a week, depending on what goes on and stuff. But mostly it's going to be one a week. I already recorded 2 episodes of an upcoming game that I will be announcing when I'm done with it. I just started doing it, so I got 2 episodes in the can already, all edited, all good, pretty good. I have my starter video thing that I'm going to be doing for it. And I'm going to play through this game, and then there'll be another game I'll choose, and I'll play through that, and then there'll be another game I choose. And it's going to be, like I said, random and different games and stuff, and it's just like something more than just my GameOns and this and that. I want to play through a game, and maybe this is going to help me, this new video series that I'm going to do. Maybe this is going to help me be able to play through and beat more games, because that's what I want to do. That's my personal that's my personal, what should I say? Not strategy, my personal, I'm trying to think of what to say now because I'm, of course, tongue-tied. That is my journey, my personal journey that I want to do, is play through more games, get more games done, played through, game through, and not have to worry about, oh, you got 100% completed like some of these people. I'm not 100% completionist. Not for every game. There are games that I do 100% complete, mostly smaller, easier games, but there's a lot of games out there that I just want to play through them, through the story or whatever, and just have my fun. And when my fun is done, game over. But I want to play through them and see credits and stuff like that. That's what's going to happen with this show. And it's been a long time in the works, long time coming in the works. And yeah. And I was just thinking of some other stuff here, because there is other stuff I did not do for this. And I was just thinking of that now. Holy shit. I just thought of it now, folks. So, oh boy. And I'm going to have to change some things. I just thought of it right this second, and I'm not going to tell you what I just thought of, but oh boy, why did I not do that? Okay. Anywho, I'm not, oh boy. Holy shit. Okay, I'm back again. I just realized I did an oopsie on something. That's okay. It's a personal oopsie. I'll work it out. It's okay. I just thought of something. This will be great for when I actually have this show. When I have my first showing, and when I start doing and unloading these first couple episodes of Game Through for this first game that I'm playing, that's when I'll let you guys in on the little funny secret. On the little funny secret that I have right now of the oopsie that I did. And I just thought of it because I'm doing so much stuff. I completely forget what I do and what I'm not doing. And I completely forget what I was supposed to do. And you'll understand. And then you'll be like, Mr. Mike, what are you doing? You nutso guy. But I got my Game Through series. It's got a great starter to it. It's got a great starter. And it took me a while to make the starter. You're going to like it. You're not going to see it for a little bit. But like I said, it's really good. I put a lot of work into this Game Through. And like I said, the games that I picked to play through my Game Through games are going to be interesting. And I cannot wait. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to announce. And I said, why don't I announce this now? And then eventually, because I don't think it's going to take me that long to play through this game or this first game here. when I play it and beat it. Maybe I'll get like hopefully 10 episodes out of this game. I don't know. We'll see. These games never usually last that long, but I'm having a little trouble figuring out. It's more of a puzzle type of game, searching puzzle type of game. And, you know, Mr. Mike, I'm not the best at the puzzle searching type of games or stuff like that, but you'll know when I know. Hopefully I get, like I said, a good 10 episodes, and then I'll announce it. And then you'll get to see some new stuff from me. So, yeah. Now on to the games news. That is the Games News Now portion of the show. And boy, oh boy, I think I'm ahead of my schedule of usually talking on doing the podcast, because usually I'm like up to almost 3 hours. But here we go, folks. The Games News Now.
Locked and loaded, ready for the fight. Game talk news, gonna set the stage alight. Mr. Mike's got the scoop, he ain't holding back. Dropping bombs on the gaming industry track. Hear the thunder, feel the roar. Game talk news, gonna settle the score. From E3 to PAX, they got it all. The highs and lows, ready to brawl.
Okay, I overcomplicate myself. But I have so much fun doing it. I'm telling you guys, even doing this podcast, I have so much fun doing it. And then when I think of stuff that I fuck up and forget to do, I go, oh yeah. And then I just have a good chuckle, go, yeah, that's me. That's my brain. My brain works overtime, and then I just yes, I'm probably half crazy, so I am crazy and insane, and I love it. So, for the first news, the bummer news. I think this is over. This is over. This just because people don't like people that do well in business. So Steam, owned by Valve, faces a $900 million lawsuit over PC monopoly claims following UK tribunal ruling. Market dominance used to enforce platform parity clauses and unfair commission legal action claims. So a UK tribunal has been given the go-ahead to the $656 million or $901 million collective action lawsuit targeting Valve over alleged anti-competitive practices on PC storefront Steam. I'm going to say that's a bunch of bullshit, but okay, we'll keep going on here. The legal action originally filed in 2024 by the digital rights campaigner Vicky Shotbolt, whoever the fuck that is, has now been given the green light to proceed following the ruling by the UK's Competition Appeal Tribunal. BBC News has reported. In short, Valve is accused of wielding its status as the dominant digital game storefront to lock game developers and publishers into release parity restrictions and keep game owners spending on Steam when buying add-ons. Shotbolt's lawsuit is a collective action claim, effectively a class action suit, which she is attempting to take forward on behalf of 14 million UK citizens who have bought games or add-on content through Steam since 2018. Is it just because she just wants a big sack of cash herself? The tribunal's new ruling published this week takes into account Shotbolt's claims in an initial response by Valve designed to halt the legal action from the progressing further. The lawsuit alleges that Steam unfairly imposes platform parity obligations, which prohibit publishers from selling games on rival stores with better terms, causing a restriction of competition. The legal action has also taken aim at the need to continue buying add-ons for games bought through Steam via Valve's own marketplace, leading to a further reduction in competition. Finally, alleges that Valve imposes unnecessarily high commission charges, essentially the typical 30% cut it takes when you spend money on Steam, which results in higher prices for consumers. I don't think most of that is true. Valve had initially contested the claim on the grounds that it lacked accurate detail both on Valve's commission structure and the actual impact of its platform parity clauses. The company also stated that the claim lacked a workable methodology for Steam users, including minors, to identify themselves as part of the claim. Also, ultimately, I guess, however, the tribunal has decided legal action can continue. Valve also faces similar action in the United States here, of course, because we got stupid government officials as well, surrounding Steam's 30% cut initially brought by developers Wolfire Studios and Dark Cat Studios. The lawsuit has been ongoing since 2021. Yeah. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about this. This is where I debunk all these motherfuckers and their whole Steam's 30% cut. Yes, Steam charges probably the most to have people sell their games on Steam. They take the biggest cut. They take 30%, like game consoles do, like Xbox does and PlayStation does on the PlayStation console. But the funny thing is, for other people like Epic Games Store or the Xbox for PC store, and probably others, I don't know, GOG or whoever else sells games and stuff, they don't charge a 30% cut. They charge a lot less, and I do mean a lot less, and much more favorable terms for these PC publishers to publish their games on PCs. This is why I always complain about how there's this lack of games coming to Xbox for PC, when Xbox for PC, even though it's a Microsoft thing and it's a Microsoft PC gaming store, they offer way better rates and terms for people to publish their games through them compared to Steam, but yet people still publish more on Steam because they think, they're going to get a better user base or whatnot. If more of these people published on the Xbox PC store and Epic store and stuff like that, I bet people would probably go to those other stores. I'm not just talking about me because I just want more games on the Xbox PC store and stuff like that. I think people would actually do that. And then these developers would be making more money off these stores, and they would still probably put their games on Steam, but they would still be making a lot more money from these other PC stores and stuff. Or maybe they would go, hey, we're going to hold off on Steam for a while, unless if they make that 30% and a little less on there and stuff like that. That is my claim on it. So I don't think Valve has a monopoly on anything. They just do it well. They have a good storefront. You go on to Steam, it's really good, even though you get that big stupid page of advertisements when you first go on there, because it's always updating. It always updates when you load at Steam, and then it's that big stupid flash page of stupid games and stuff. Sometimes there's once in a great million that there's a game on there that I might want to go check out and buy or whatever, but mostly it's garbage, and then I just go in there to download and update games and buy games that I already know I'm going to buy from Steam. But otherwise, that's on the publishers and the people publishing their games through Steam. That is their problem. That's not Steam's and Valve's problem. They just set the price, and they just let people put their stuff on there. For the whole parody thing. Now, parody I can understand, because I always hear about, the games are on better parody on the Steam platform than on the Xbox platform. And I always wonder, I'm like, why isn't the version on the Xbox platform just the same thing as on the Valve Steam platform? And I just don't understand what that bullshit is. I understand what it means, but I just don't understand why these publishers just don't update the game on the Xbox PC platforms or something like that compared to Steam and stuff. So a lot of that stuff, I've got to say, is publisher based for games and add-on content and all that stuff. And for this whole 14 million UK citizens who bought games or add-on content through Steam since 2018, that sounds like a lot of bullshit. It sounds like this, whatever her name is, Shotbolt, Vicky Shotbolt. The Shotbolt sounds like a weapon or a gun or something. And her name is Vicky Shotbolt. Miss Shotbolt, I bet she just wants some money. I bet, and you know, UK, they're very picky on that. They're very anti anything. Consumer. They're not even really good consumer. They're very anti-business and very anti-gaming business right now. And I don't give a shit what they say. And they're like this whole thing about being anti-competitive. I don't think Steam and Valve are anti-competitive at all. There's so many storefronts out there. You've got the stupid Apple stupid store, not that I care about that or consider that a store for games. You got the Android storefront that they can publish these games. Like I said, you got the Nvidia store, you got the Epic Games store, you got the Xbox for PC store, and then you got the big publishers that have their own storefronts like the Ubisoft store and this and that. There's a lot of gaming stores out there. And then there's GOG, and I'm sure there's others, that Sketch or whatever they're called. I don't know. I think Sketch is a streaming platform, but there's a lot of these gaming places where people like to publish their games and sell their games through, that they don't have to take a cut of 30% off of what they're making from their games because of having to put it on Steam. They just choose to because they know Steam is the thing that most of us gamers use. Now, note, I, as a gamer, I do use Steam, but I only use it for certain games. Most of my games I'm trying to get is through the Xbox for PC store. But that's, again, I'm an outlier to that. And I'm different than other people out there. As you can tell, I'm definitely way different than other people. And I believe that this whole lawsuit over Steam is just a bunch of bullshit. Some quick cash grab that, you know, UK, the EU, they just all hate big business, and they all hate that these businesses like Valve are doing so well, and they're like, well, maybe we could squeeze some money out of that stone. So that's all this is. This is just a cash grab, and them being, you know, a bunch of governmental bullshit assholes and stuff. This is not real. This is, if Valve and Steam actually did some anti-competitive stuff, I would see it. I would hear it. This just makes them seem worse to publish on with the 30% thing and whatever restriction for competition, all this other stuff. It just makes it sound like, well, why would they publish it on there? Why not go to the Xbox PC store, the Epic store, and publish on those people? You know, not that they shouldn't. And why they don't, I don't know why. I don't know why these people don't. I would love to just talk to every publisher and go, why don't you publish on the Xbox PC store? Why don't you? Why don't you? Why don't you? What are the reasons? You publish on Steam. Why not publish on everything? Stop making, or are you making special deals with them for some reason? And why is it you doing that? Why don't you do it on these other platforms? Because you'll make more money. I don't understand what your weird business practices are. I think all these companies are shady. Why don't you put all the companies up for the shady business practice lawsuits and stuff like that, huh? I don't know. Maybe they will someday. Maybe they'll put the whole gaming industry on the chopping block and say, hey, gaming industry, you guys are all doing shady things in your business practices. We're putting you all in the hot seat. I can see that one day because it is the EU and then you got the UK and all them. Like I said, they're all very anti-business out there. But yet they're making deals with China and stuff like that to take over their countries, and we're trying to get rid of China. So you see where that's all going. So yeah, kids will be kids. This other one, this is like another news report / rumorville here that the likelihood of the PlayStation 6 will launch after 2028, according to analyst forecasts, as Sony focuses on extending the PlayStation 5 life cycle, which I say that's better than not, because how many people are even utilizing and being able to play as many games on their PlayStation 5s and PS5 Pros right now? especially for the people that just bought the PS5 Pros. Why would they want to buy a new console in like a year or two? You know, they haven't even utilized those consoles yet. Same thing with the Series X and S. Where there's not enough games. Well, Xbox has more games coming out, but there's still not enough games coming out on any of these platforms that you would have to say are pushing the boxes way beyond their limits. These games can run on all these boxes, and I think, and especially right now when game hardware is super expensive and games are super expensive and everything's super expensive, and game cycles to make games is longer than ever. I don't think anybody should be talking about any new consoles. Even Sony, even Microsoft. You guys are Nintendo just came out their Nintendo Switch 2, and look at it. Apparently it's dropping in sales now or something like that. But you got Sony talking about their next PlayStation 6 console, talking a little bit about the future of that and the potential for a handheld alongside of it, which is going to be both very expensive. And then you got Microsoft talking about their next console being, Xbox PC hybrid right there. And it's going to be a premium experience console. So, that's going to be expensive. So I don't think people are ready for that yet. I don't think it's time for new consoles yet, but, and this is one of those reasons. And then with memory pricing and storage pricing, you have Sony cutting back on how much storage space is in a PlayStation 5 console going forward. And I'm sure Microsoft doing the same thing. Maybe Nintendo will do that, even though they got the lowest amount of memory in their consoles, because they're crazy. That's why you can't put big games on a Nintendo Switch 2. Pushing back till 2028. Shit, go 2030, motherfuckers. Come on, what are you scared of? Push it back to 2030. And then you got people saying, oh, that's not going to happen. They're going to release the console as soon as possible because they got all the details worked out. They got the memory worked out. They're probably going to buy all that stuff soon and start making it. And I'm like, but they don't have to. They could always push it back and keep planning. They can do more planning. Wait till this whole sea of confusion and bullshit subsides a little bit. Let the AI bubble burst and let this stuff all calm down a bit and let the pricing calm down a bit. And then they could go back to the drawing board and go, okay, we'll put this much memory in there. We'll put this much storage in here. We'll buy up all this from these companies at cheap, cutthroat prices, and then we'll make some money. So I'm just saying, if Sony is wanting to push back their PlayStation 6 to later, and they want to keep the PlayStation 5 brand out longer, good on them. Same thing for Microsoft. Do the same fucking exact same thing. Let these consoles be like 10, 12-year consoles. I don't care. Because there's no reason to make more expensive consoles right now. You're just hurting the fan base. You're just hurting the console and the gamer base. The gamers are eventually not going to be buying new console after new console. A lot of gamers, like yours truly, are going more PC all the time. I've gone PC because when Microsoft went more heavily on PC, I said, I'm going more PC. Not just Steam, but with Microsoft stuff, with the Xbox stuff, Yeah. So same thing. When Sony's not putting out the amount of games they used to put out, like for the PS2 and 3 and stuff like that, there's no need to be buying PS6s and 7s and stuff like that. No. They haven't come out with that many games. And like I said, hardware pricing, very, very bad and expensive. They don't need to. They don't have no reason to. So that is my notion on that. Next story, Reblade the Death Spiral, a new cyberpunk action roguelite game announced for PC. I'm looking at this. This is like a sort of side top-down kind of like Diablo-esque type of feel to it, look to it. It looks really cool. This game looks really cool. So this is from developer Chili Room. The publisher of Spiral Up Games has announced Reblade the Death Spiral, a new cyberpunk action roguelite. You'll run through the I almost said Dyson Sphere. Dystopian city as many times as it takes as a condemned synthetic, fighting your way through to get to the truth. You'll find different weapons, augments to customize your build in each roguelike run. So I'm guessing this is like a run, die, repeat kind of a thing. That's pretty cool. Battle evolved cyborg monsters who've been forged and shaped by the same unforgiving world. You have a high-speed combat, trade with people you encounter, and build alliances or allegiances along the way. Check out the exciting trailer view. Yeah, I already watched that. It looks really good. Reblade doesn't have a release date just yet, but here you go again. You can wishlist it on Steam. I will wait till this game is on Xbox or Xbox for PC or for people for PlayStation. And it stars a sexy, like all the comments in this comment section, it stars a young, sexy female as the main character. This person's complaining, saying not every game needs a young, sexy female as the main character. Well, most do, because I'm sick of males. I'm sick of playing games with just being a guy. Let's just say, I played a lot of games with guys. I don't mind this, and it's a sexy young female cyborg lady that's fighting here. It's pretty badass. She's pretty badass. It looks a little like Ghost in the Shell kind of thing going on here a little bit as well. They got the Ghost in the Shell. You're like playing as this robot ninja lady. It's pretty cool, this game. I will wait till it's on for Xbox for PC or Xbox Game Pass myself. I'm sure it'll come out to those places and consoles eventually. Of course, they're just putting it on PC for Steam now, but like I said, eventually that 30% will take a lot of chunks out of their sales, so eventually they'll have to port it to Xbox and PlayStation and stuff like that eventually. So yeah, that's where these games usually go to, and that's when I'll get to play it when it comes out on those. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3's name and engine have been decided. I talked about Final Fantasy Remake, which I was playing, and of course Rebirth, which, god damn you guys, I thought that was in the game with Remake Integrate, but I guess not. You assholes. So Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth game director Naoki Hamaguchi stated that the upcoming third chapter will continue utilizing the Unreal 4 engine and that the game's official title has been locked in. The news about the Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga's final chapter came amid a busy period for Square Enix's fan-favorite RPG series. Excuse me again. On January 22nd, that's when I got this game, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate was released on Xbox systems, PC for Xbox, and Switch 2. Although the new ports came 6 years after the game's original launch on the PS4, which that was a long time, folks. The arrival of Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate marked at the end of the PlayStation's console exclusivity window. Leading up to the launch of Final Fantasy Remake Integrate on Xbox and Switch, Square Enix stated that the entire Final Fantasy VII Remake series, including Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the yet named third game, would also launch on Xbox and Switch 2 in the future. Now, how long that's going to take to get those, I don't know. But like I keep hearing, I hear that Final Fantasy remake Intergrade is an 80-hour game anyways. I hear it's a really long game anyways. So I'm not too much in a hurry to get Final Fantasy Rebirth just yet. But I will be happy when it does come out for the Xbox and Xbox for PC. Hopefully the same thing like it just did the last time. I will buy that. And then when they have the third one, hopefully that'll come out day and date. Unless if they still got a thing with Sony going on with timed exclusivities for these. Because I know they sometimes get a little cash in their pockets from Sony. But they're putting on other systems right now as well. Because they know they're not making as much money off of these games as they did with just putting them on a PlayStation. They even know they got to spread out and put it on Steam, Xbox for PC, Epic Store, and all that stuff because they know they got to try to make their bones when they can, you know? And Sony's not going to be able to help them with the PlayStation. He stated that the name of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 has been decided, but they're not going to tell us. He anticipated the final chapter that fans should pay attention to after following up on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Creative director stated that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3's official title had been locked in. Hamaguchi stated that he spoke with Nomura sometime after 2025 Paris Games Week in late October and stated that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3's name was Nomura's decision to make. Previously, Hamaguchi stated that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 had its name narrowed down to 2 options and that the final title would be decided before 2026. However, Hamaguchi did not state when Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 would be officially called, because why would they tell us, and did not give a timetable for when the game reveal would happen. But he did continue to state that Unreal 4 was still being used for the game and not Unreal 5, although Square Enix had considered the option to move Final Fantasy VII's Remake's third chapter off the Unreal 4 engine in favor of Unreal 5 and its graphical feature set, but I guess it was probably a lot easier for them to keep it that way, because why not? Because that first 2 games were using Unreal 4, so might as well just keep it Unreal 4 for the third one. He stated that the development team opted to make some modifications to the older Unreal engine iteration. Hamaguchi added that it was more beneficial for Square Enix to use something that its developers are familiar with, and that then they have it customized to suit the project at hand. A similar process was used for the development of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which used a modified version of Unreal 4 to support the game's open world environments. Given that the current gen consoles, modern gaming PCs can run the Unreal 4 titles at a stable frame rates, the decision to keep the entire Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy on the same engine could be beneficial to the gamers. I know it has, because it runs very well and very smoothly on my PC here. And I haven't played it on my Xbox. I could put it on my Xbox, because I got for the Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade that I bought that copy. It's not just for PC, it's for Xbox, and it's an Xbox Play Anywhere title, which is also good on Square Enix's part for making it that way, because it's like, oh, I can play this anywhere on that. And I did install it recently on my Xbox ROG Ally X, which I will try out soon to see how well that was. I was going to try it out before this podcast, but I just never got around to it. But I want to see how well it runs on that as well, which it said in the store that it should run perfectly fine. So very interested how it'll look and play on my Xbox ROG Ally X. But so far I've been happy with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I keep doing this. Remake Intergrade. It's been pretty good so far. I will be streaming it this upcoming Friday again, so get ready for that again. So that's been a thing. New Star Wars Jedi 3 rumors spark controversy, divided the fan base. Ooh. So new rumors have begun to swirl around the eventual release of Star Wars Jedi 3. So after Jedi Survivor, I'm guessing they were going to make a Jedi 3. With rumors claiming that eventual release is much sooner than you might think. Developer Respawn Entertainment and publisher EA have confirmed as of yet Untitled Star Wars Jedi 3 game is in development, but there are no concrete details as of right now. Recent rumors shared by a popular industry figure, however, have kickstarted a debate of sorts. It's worth bearing in mind that the first game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, released in 2019, while Star Wars Jedi Survivor released in 2023. Assuming the same 4-year development period is used for the threequel, it's likely that the third game comes out sometime in 2027, but recent rumors point toward a release in the first half of 2026, which, among others, has split the fan base to a degree. Let's see here. They're stating that if Star Wars Jedi 3 releases in the first half of 2026, meaning there's about 5 months left for marketing and release, they continue to suggest that it will be less linear than the galactic hubs for a more immersive exploration experience. Furthermore, it is stated to be a darker, more mature story, with antagonists being a new faction with ties to the Force but unrelated to the Empire. It is also stated to expand the Force ability list from Star Wars Jedi for Survivor, adding the combat is heavier and more reactive. That would be pretty fun. I gotta still play Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I bought that. I played a bunch of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the first one, and then I fell off of it after it got really tedious and I just fell off of it because I was just not having fun anymore. But I did buy Star Wars Jedi Survivor because it was on sale, and I bought it for the Xbox. So eventually I want to play that game again because that seemed okay. I did try out a little bit of it. I was like very impressed of what its presentation was, and I'm hoping that it just doesn't fall off the wagon that is the Star Wars Jedi whatever it's going to be, Jedi 3. So very interested in it. They can wait because if they're going to want to put it out in between 5 months. Remember, they got Grand Theft Auto 6 to tend to, so they don't want to put that out in 2026. They want to put that out as far away from Grand Theft Auto so they can take their time making Star Wars Jedi whatever 3 and stuff like that. They can put it out in 2027 sometime, a little bit later in 2027, and that would be probably better for them because then it'll come out when there's less games coming out, and GTA has been out for a little bit already, and then people will be wanting something new, and then they can put it out then, and then people will want to buy it. Just saying. So more than 3 years later, Nintendo just added health bars to Splatoon 3, and fans have mixed opinions. Okay. So Nintendo has just added health bars to Splatoon 3. Now, it's been a little while since I played Splatoon 3. It is a fun game, guys. That is one of very, 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 very few online games that I'll ever touch and play online. And I think I played more Splatoon 3 than I played Gears of War online. And now we're still being played a lot. Splatoon 3, more than 3 years after the game's release, prompting a mixed reaction from fans. Nintendo dropped an unexpected update to its Inky Shooter threequel, which originally launched for the original Switch back in September of 22, alongside a new Aura Flow feature with other tweaks. The patch has notably added health bars, something which has come to a huge surprise to fans of the franchise. Patch notes published alongside the game's 11.0.0 update, Nintendo announced that it would now be possible to see the opponent's remaining health when they've been hit. Previously, you can only see how damaged an enemy was by looking closely at how much ink they were covered in. not so easy to do in the heat of battle. Yep, that's true. Apart from the surprise of such a major change being made so late in Splatoon 3's life, it's that later sentence that the left fans has left fans in with confusion. Splatoon has always featured a visual representation of damage without the need for health bars. How splattered in ink a character is, and health pools in general are typically quite low, with most weapons splatting foes in 3 or 4 hits. Combat is an important part of Splatoon gameplay, of course, but only one component, as matches revolve around coding maps with ink to establish territory control. That's what I usually do. So I'm looking at this here, seeing this person have a health bar and stuff. That's okay. I wouldn't mind a health bar. I would like it if they let you turn it on or off, but I wouldn't mind that, because then I can see my own health and see how much health I got left in my inkling. If I'm going to die or something, that's always cool. You know, because I never know how many shots are getting off of me to kill me in order to win, you know, because I get killed all the time, but I'm mostly just inking up the place and not really battling the place. But yeah. Here's a controversial thing that I think is very controversial, and this is probably one of those reasons why I wouldn't buy as many of these games on Switch or Nintendo's platforms. And they're basically doing the whole Mortal Kombat thing again, as I would say. And this is a game I'm waiting to get published on the Xbox or the PC store on Xbox or something like that. And I'm surprised they haven't even tried to even do it on the PlayStation. Why they went to Switch first after Steam, I don't know. This developer seems very I don't know what the fuck this developer is doing, but the developer for Dispatch, it's the superhero game, I'm guessing. This is the you're dispatching superheroes to go out and fight crimes and stuff. It's a whole story and all that stuff. It's supposedly a really good game. Has nudity and stuff in it, I guess, and dongs and other stuff. And language. So Dispatch is censored on Nintendo Switch due to platform content criteria, the developer states. So Dispatch, the superhero workplace comedy made by Telltale veterans at Ad Hoc Studio, is now out on Nintendo Switch, but a number of excited new and returning players aren't super happy about the release. As it turns out, the game has been pretty aggressively censored on the system. So they're doing, like I said, Nintendo's doing that whole Mortal Kombat thing again, where they're taking out the blood, taking out the dongs and everything else and censoring it. It's been well known since its release on other platforms that Dispatch is a game with significant adult content. Some characters are fully or partially naked in various scenes with their full anatomy on display. There are some sex scenes where characters make sounds associated with sex. Sometimes characters flip the bird at one another. For those who don't want to see all this, there's a censorship toggle in the settings that covers up the nudity and the middle fingers and silences any unwanted sex noises on the platforms. This is entirely optional and up to the player to turn on. Now, they say platforms. First off, the only place I knew this was on like I said, on Steam. So I don't know why they're saying platforms. But not on the Nintendo Switch. Earlier reports began to drop from reviewers of the Switch version that Dispatch's censorship toggle is missing from the options on the platform. That's because it's permanently turned on, no pun intended, so all the censor bars and the silence are just stuck that way with no way to turn on the more mature version of the game. Why? According to Ad Hoc, it's because Nintendo's policies, different platforms have different content criteria, and submissions are evaluated individually. The studio stated in a statement shared on Eurogamer, "We have worked with Nintendo to ensure the content within the title met the criteria of the release of their platforms, but the core narrative and gameplay experience remains identical to the original release. This is understandably frustrated some people. A number of members of Dispatch Online communities and places like Reddit and other social platforms have alternatively expressed frustration with Nintendo for its policies, and ad hoc is bending to them so readily. While it's true that other games in the past, such as notably Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Fire Emblem Fates, have also been censored in various ways. By comparison, Dispatch's censorship is extremely blunt and distracting. Who wants giant black bars across the screen, especially if you can't turn them off? Yes. What's more, some have pointed out that both Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 are on the Switch 2. Both of these games have nudity, and neither have been censored in such a way, leading to questions about what makes Dispatch different. Some people, I've been hearing rumors, things like maybe because this is more cartoony, that they don't want kids seeing this and going, oh, animated thing. Oh, I want to buy it, and then finding out that they got some schlongs and sex in their video game that is not wholesome. Oh, it is on PlayStation, I guess. Okay, so it's on Switch 2, PC, and PlayStation. Just not on Xbox yet. Huh. Maybe eventually this will come out on Xbox and Xbox for PC. But I've been really interested in Dispatch. I hear a lot of people talking a lot of good stuff about it, that it's a really good game. I just want it with achievements. I want it on my platform, and it seems like they're holding back to getting it on the Xbox for some reason. I don't know. Microsoft. Well, fuck Microsoft. Xbox. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck's going on over there at Xbox? I don't know. Disappoints me. And censorship like this disappoints me. But I guess that's what happens when you go to the big end. Sometimes they get to tell you what to do and not to do. That's why, I don't know. I don't like video game censorship. I don't like censorship in a lot of things. I think if people don't want that stuff, sure, you should be allowed to lock it out, but it should be the gamer's choice because they're the ones buying the game. Hopefully they put a little tag on there saying, hey, this is all going to be censored. This game is going to be a censored game. So if you are going to miss out on that stuff, please don't buy it. I don't know. That's just my saying on that. And then in final news, folks, some good news for you people that don't like censorship and like big explosions, grotesque things, and a post-apocalyptic world. Well, Amazon, shockingly, I didn't know Amazon would ever do this, but Amazon is releasing all the episodes. I think they already did that. Amazon is releasing all the episodes of Fallout Season 1 for free on YouTube ahead of Season 2 finale. So I should go to YouTube now because I haven't looked this up. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube here. Oh, we'll just go to my channel. We'll go to, let's see, Fallout Season 1. Season 1. I don't know. Is it going to be there? Full episode. Prime Video. Here we go. You don't have to play it. We don't have to hear it. So I'm looking here, all Fallout Season 1, Episode 2, full episode, 1 full episode. I got other stuff in here from Prime Video. Yeah, that's what I want from Prime Video. Season 1, Episode 6, full episode. Yeah, they got all the episodes on here. So I can definitely tell you, folks, that all the episodes of Fallout Season 1 is now on I'm looking at here on YouTube. But if you want a 1080p premium HD enhanced bitrate, you got to pay them for it. It's saying. Huh. So you got to pay them for that enhanced bitrate. But if you don't mind just 1080p, so there's no 4K, it's just 1080p. Huh. Not that I care, because I already have it on Blu-ray, and I can watch it on Prime. But that's pretty interesting that I got Fallout Season 1 for free on YouTube ahead of the final. That's pretty... I'm surprised they would take it off. I'm surprised they would take it out of their own paywall to put it on their... Maybe if they did like a couple episodes, I would see, but the whole Season 1, just so they could get people to watch Season 2 on Prime Video, that's big. That's big. That's interesting that Amazon's taken that approach, because you would never see that with a Netflix thing. Netflix would never go, well, we're going to put some of our beginning or some of our seasons of whatever from our Netflix show, like, I don't know, let me think of something here, Stranger Things or something, and put it on YouTube for the full episode so people could see it. Nah, I don't think that would ever happen, but yeah, that's pretty big. I'm shocked by that, but that's what's happening and that's what's going on. So that's the news. That's the gaming news, and hopefully I'm not moving around too much in the chair. I'm just getting a little angsty here because I'm tired, and it's been good, and it hasn't been 3 hours of a podcast. It's been 2 hours and 35 minutes, it says here. So, woohoo! Very happy about that. I cut it down a little bit. Cut it down about 30 plus minutes. So everybody, thank you for joining me. I got nothing else to talk about. I just want to get out of here. I'll edit this podcast and stuff later, but I want to get out of here, play some games, watch some TV or movies, and relax and drink some hot chocolate on Hot Chocolate Day. Enjoy the rest of my Saturday here. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your, week. Because this is when you hear this and watch this, it's the start of the week. So, of the week of February, we should say. So, hopefully you enjoy your week. Hopefully it's not a bad week. Hopefully we all get together, get along, get together, get along. Hopefully there's no huge snowstorms coming, and hopefully play a lot of games, and, hopefully, I'll catch you guys again next Friday. So, like I said, you're already watching and listening to this podcast today, Monday or beyond Monday. Wednesday is going to be another Let's Play, of course. I'm not going to let you know till the day, until I know what I'm going to do for that Let's Play. I got a big idea what I'm going to do for that Let's Play. I think it's going to be a certain Vox Pixel game. A Steam-based Vox Pixel. Well, it's on other platforms as well now, but I'm playing it, the Steam version, because it's probably like the best version for me to play, because I'm not going to play it on a console, but it's a voxel-based game on Steam. I wonder if you might know what I'm talking about there. So that might be my Let's Play for Wednesday. And then Friday, we're going to go back into Final Fantasy VII Remake, Integrate, and play some more of that, because why freaking not? Going back into that. And then it's probably back to Assassin's Creed or something else. Who knows? Because that's what I usually go back to. So that's what's next week's going to be. And then, like I said, I'll let you guys know when my plans are when my plans are up for the new upcoming Game Through series have been readied. And I get out those videos. So that will be coming. Like I said, I got to play through the game and get the rest of the episodes out ready in the can. And I'll start releasing them, and you can watch me play through a game, and I'll start playing a new game and having some fun with it. So that's the plan. So everybody, until next time, I'm Mr. Mike signing out, saying game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gaming button, and the show is now game over. But until I say get out of here for this game over, and I say it again, please go to OldFreakyGamer.com. Please go to YouTube.com/OldFreakyGamer-2023. Watch my videos, subscribe for free. You could go to OldFreakyGamer or OFG-store on eBay if you want to look up some stuff. I got Mr. Mike's tip jar. So much stuff I'm doing. If you want to see what I'm doing on my schedule, just go to OldFreakyGamer.com and see the schedule. And now we could say game over. So everybody, game over. Until next time, I'm out of here. Game on.
Pixel flicker, neon bright, old freaky gamer plays all night. Joystick in one hand, fries in the other. He's the king of one more level, brother. Press start, he's in the zone. His throne's a squeaky chair alone. Old freaky gamer, he's tapping that, blasting through the game's attack. Level up and don't look back. Old freaky gamer on the track.
Game over.